Okay, so we're going to be running our Sagittarius prep, kind of deciding what deck and sparks to use for Goldship. As I've in the last stream, I kind of showed that I decided on Goldship, Grass Wonder, and Seiun Sky, at least preliminarily. So I'm just testing out a few decks to see what I kind of like as part of a training composition, and then what kind of parents that makes me want to borrow for sparks. And then I'll try preparing those parents. So I started with Goldship, and I've done a few runs that I wasn't that happy with, and they didn't feel that unlucky, which is like the biggest issue. Some of them had like a couple hiccups, but it wasn't anything automatically disqualifyingly bad. So I was trying a 3-speed 2 wit deck with a borrowed Rico first, and the speed wasn't even close. 950, even on a slightly unlucky run, is kind of unacceptably low. And I didn't even hit the 900 stamina for a stat buff on this course. So then I switched to a third speed card, or I switched my third speed card to be a borrowed MLB Biko instead. And this did get the speed up a little bit. I got to 1013 now. It did drop my wit a lot. My power stayed the same, and my stamina just got luckier. I ended up at 920, even though I was downgrading my Rico. So then I kind of thought maybe I'm playing the deck wrong, and there still is something here with this setup. Because I ended up with way too much stamina, with no stamina cards and not hitting power enough. So then I ran it again. It ended up with the same speed, and then I just kind of lost stamina for wit, which isn't bad, but also not ideal either. So then now I'm in the middle of another test run where I used the same deck again because across those two runs with the MLB Biko, I never hit a triple rainbow, and the double rainbows didn't feel any more common than when I just run King Halo and uh, Kita-san. And that could be that Biko doesn't actually have that much specialty priority. I think it's something like 50. Might be 55. So that might have been the cause. So that's why I want to run it again. Okay, as soon as we start up, we have a good double rainbow here. I'm in the middle of classic year. Yeah, I'm about to hit summer. If this doesn't work out, I'll show the deck that I'm considering trying out because the power is also a little low. The deck I'm considering running is switching to a power-based deck and then stacking wit down to like 500 or 400, whatever it ends up at, from just being able to pop explosions and random dead turns where there's quite a few cards on wit. Because wit is a very good dead turn. Oh, that's yeah, okay, so 850 stam with um so Rico can give you quite a lot of stam, and then I was hitting stams a lot because my high training effectiveness characters of Rico, Kita-san, and Biko were there a lot. And then I had really good stamina parents. I have switched them now. So I'm trying out a speed uh, deck now a little bit. So I was using stamina parents, and that's part of why my stamina was so high. But that amount of stamina is actually almost too high because you can get away with just the stamina. And I wasn't really taking full advantage of the fact that Goldship has a built-in gold recovery that is pretty effective in general. It's only a little weak for the final hill. If you get unlucky and she wants to proc it at the end, then you're going to waste that recovery for the most part. It just means she doesn't die at the end, but she might miss her spurt anyways, which is pretty painful. Uh, so this is what I was preparing for Libra. So this was one where I was pretty set on stamina sparks. Hey, hey Moon. I'm just talking about my gold ship preparations because I'm trying to figure out what sparks I want to bring. So this was a stamina parent that rolled speed, so I wanted to try out what that looks like. And then I don't have great speed parents, so I just borrowed a good speed parent that I could find, which was 6 speed, 2 stam on a Mejiro Ryan. And then seeing where that ends up with this deck. Because I think this should get me the 1150 speed that I was looking for. But I think my power stays at 800, and then maybe the stam I can use a gold recovery on, and I won't have to try out this build. Because the problem with one power card is, so I talked about it on my deck composition video, but if it's not a best in slot card and it's just an MLB SR, the rainbows aren't really strong enough to make it worth solo rainbows. Like, you're not happy about those turns. And then it's also probably not a good roamer either, because it just doesn't have enough oomph on the card because it's an SR. So I don't really like running any MLB SR on their own in a category. I want them paired with something. So a solo Hishy Amazon Rainbow, I'll hit it if there's nothing better, but it's not like I see that and I want it. But if it's a double rainbow of Hishy Amazon and Daitako Helios, then that becomes, I would hit this over most things. Basically, I need to get really lucky and have another double rainbow available on speed or a triple rainbow on speed. Otherwise, I'm pretty happy about that turn. A double rainbow on power is pretty strong. The reason I picked Daitako Helios was because her race bonus pushes me over 35, and when you end up over 35, you actually get +4 all stats from career instead of plus threes for a win. So that's why I went with like the slightly inferior card over what it wants of Biwa. So we'll finish this run, and then we'll try out the finals and hope it went well. So I didn't stream yesterday, so I'll just talk about my results that I ended up with 2, 3, 4, 5 on day 2, which I wasn't happy with, but I wasn't mad about at all. Like, it was pretty good. I kind of was hoping for a bit higher, but it was okay. I feel like I queued at a not uncompetitive time. It wasn't like immediately as it came out, when it can be really hard. It's just like it feels completely random if you queue at the very start of the thing. There's whales that just want to do it immediately and try out their new stuff, and then there's also just normal people getting home from work that just want to do their runs. So I like to wait 2 or 3 hours, and then you kind of, at least the whales that are too eager to make their runs are probably done, and it's just kind of the people that are a bit more patient and want easier matchups. And then it's also not waiting an insane amount of time. So I have one friend, and he waits till like, I live in EST, and he waits till 2 a.m. in the morning to do his runs most of the time, because he finds that that's kind of like the easiest time. It's not a great summer so far, which is a bit unfortunate. Oh, I forgot to turn on I don't really play without sound, but it's a bit boring for a stream. I usually have something running on the side while I'm playing, but if I'm streaming, I'm not going to. Yeah, I like to wait a little bit. My number's 2 hours, but 1 hour is reasonable as well. I feel like giving the whales that really want to run their super compositions an hour to get it out of the way feels pretty fine. I also am also considering popping Spirit Explosions on speed. It wasn't a focus when I was doing runs, because I wanted to focus them on power, because as a backliner, my power is a pretty important stat. Because if we look at the map, there's actually like kind of a bigger reason beyond backliners have more top speed. So if we look at the map for Sagittarius, what'll happen is it's kind of a really good end closer lobby, as we talked about. So there's probably going to be like 3 to like 5 end closers, and they're all going to be kind of grouped in this blob, and then the downhill comes. And if you have the most wit, you're going to move to the top of that 5, most likely, and then you're going to be in 4th and not proc your Let's Pump or moving past and beyond. And then you're just going to lose. Unless you buy No Stopping Me, and then you kind of have a shot, but you do also need to proc No Stopping Me, so it's less reliable than just being 6th. 6th is kind of like the cheat mode, because if we look at Let's Pump and moving past and beyond. Okay, there's actually too many abilities to be able to read it well. If we just have Let's Pump and moving past and beyond, you basically reach your top speed just off those 2 accelerations. So you kind of only need those 2. Their effectiveness of accelerations drops off a bit. Oh, and it will have straightaway spurt, because that's really cheap to grab. So it's going to reach top speed just off those 3 tiny accelerations. And you don't really need No Stopping Me, so I am considering a build where I don't use No Stopping Me. So hitting 6 is kind of the god roll. And if I have too much wit, I might speed up on the downhill too much and overshoot that. And then I'll have, on top of that, more power, more acceleration. So 800 was kind of okay, but in like an ideal scenario, probably something like 600 here and 1000 here is kind of pretty good for taking advantage of not running into diminishing returns, while also taking full advantage of things. Yeah, Nimble Nav is also a good consideration. I actually will pick that up. I did forget to say that. Because Nimble Nav I'm not picking up for the acceleration. I'm actually picking it up just to not get blocked while I use my accels. But it is an accel on its own, so it's not bad for that either. But the reason I'm going to like it is the lane movement speed and not just get blocked when I move past and beyond and pump iron. If you want something else you could consider that I'm also thinking about is using what's it called? Is using Let's Pump and not both Dober and Ryan, and just having a much better Boro quality parent. So Let's Pump with a really good Boro parent that's out there for long and spurt and Ura Finales or Unity Cups, or using my own Mejiro Ryan, using my own like best long parent that isn't a Mejiro Ryan, and then just getting a really good Dober or Mejiro Ryan from the universe. What I'm kind of looking for is something like this for goal stats. Okay, this ideally would be 601, but unless I'm running a guts card, I never hit 601, so it just feels too unrealistic to put it. Because you can see that the secret stat thresholds are stamina and guts. So I really want that 601, or like, I don't know what it is with Great Mood. It's probably something like 560, but I just don't think it's realistic without running a guts card or a stamina card, and I don't really want to do either. And then probably something like 600. I need to check. I'll check if that's realistic on based on my other things, but that's kind of what I was looking at. Where are some of my other gold ships from Libra? Okay, for Libra, 1150, 900. I had to have 300 wit, but I also was in a period where I didn't have a Kita-san. This is kind of like uncharted territory for my preparation. Is all my previous knowledge of longs comes without a Kita-san. So this is my first time trying to run 3 speed cards instead of 4 on a +0, while also trying to get stam. Because I can't afford. I was seeing if I could still do wit cards and hit the stam and hit wit enough to be worth it. But kind of this run kind of showed that I couldn't really. Whenever I wanted, if the run was going even slightly bad, I wasn't able to click wit as much as I'd want to. Like 600 off 2 cards feels kind of weak. So that's what I'm thinking about moving away from this idea. I think this is like a little outpriced for me. I think if I had my own Biko and I could borrow a Fine Mo, or if I had a Fine Mo, this would probably be a pretty close to ideal deck. Maybe you wanna... Yeah, this is with Explosions on Power, and you could probably get away with 800. Yeah, 1000 power and 600 wit might be too hard. I'm just trying out with my my new MLB Kita, seeing what's kind of possible out there. Let's see, this is... Yeah, none of them hit the speed, so it's kind of hard to tell, because I actually need the speed first. Yeah, maybe you're probably right. I'll probably switch to something like... I think with no speed cards, I can still get like 450 or 500 wit. And then this is kind of similar to what I had in Libra with a little bit more wit, because I should hit the speed a little bit more comfortably and be able to hit power a bit more with bringing a second power card and keeping the 3 speed cards. Yeah, I'm increasingly thinking that my sparks are going to be speed sparks, because my 3 cards, I've done it 3 times, so it doesn't feel like it should be because I was unlucky, and I might just not be able to hit it super well. And I don't want to bring 4 cards, so I think it's going to end up being the double power deck, which I'll try after the finals run. Yeah, I like to hit... I guess now I kind of like to hit races on dead turns, but for a long time I used to just hit okay wits on dead turns, because it just kind of was a good stall your energy turn. But then I kind of discovered race... I entered Unity, and there was a lot more good hints, so skill points became more valuable, and I kind of discovered the value of races. Like, races, they just provide so much skill points and still like kind of okay stats. So the skill points are kind of gravy compared to a bad wit. But I think in URA, your marginal skills were pretty mediocre. Like I never really felt like I didn't have enough skill points in URA, just because the hints were never good enough. But now the hints are crazy good with bubbles, and sometimes I just feel so strapped for skill points. I just wish that I had an extra 200, 300. And that's exactly what you'll... Maybe 200, 300 is out of range. Maybe 100 to 200 extra skill points is reasonable. Yeah, even running Speed Spark. Oh, this is actually a really weak stat line heading out of Classic Year. I kind of wish I didn't segment how I was doing it, like doing some earlier and then continuing it now, because I actually don't know why my stat line looks so bad. Maybe I failed the trading and kind of forgot about it when I picked it back up. Maybe my first inheritance was really bad. I really don't remember why my stat line looks so weak for where I am. But on an ace run, maybe I just hit 2 triple speed rainbows and everything looks fine again. These trainings have also been a little weak, I guess. If only this didn't have the Spirit Explosion. That feels like too much of a waste. I would be okay with sacrificing the extra energy of a rainbow, but adding a Spirit Explosion on top of it feels pretty bad. We can look at it. I'm pretty sure I think Behold is better. Oh, 4th. Oh, our stat line's so bad we can't even win G2s. So we can first just see what Umulator thinks and then make up our own mind as well. Okay, where's Shadow Break? Shadow Break, they're evaluated the exact same, because I think they do have the same effect if I remember. 0.25 for 3 seconds. And Shadow Break is 0.25 for 3 seconds. So then we're going to look at the conditions. Shadow Break requires you to have been engaged in a challenge during the mid-race. And on the final corner, if you're in the top quarter of the race, and you're further back, you're not in first place. I'm actually not sure what is behind in is. So then we'll actually go to game Tora. Because I don't actually own Narita Bryan, so I actually don't know what Shadow Break exactly does. Okay, is behind in. Checks if the girl behind you is closer to the inner fence than you. That sounds very unreliable. Being on... You have to be on the outside to reliably have that, I guess. I guess it happens most of the time with fronts and paces kind of dying behind you. I recognize the name Daoshin, but I don't remember the comment exactly. Yeah. And then you've overtaken an Uma. So overtake one, but be on the outside. Yeah, I think I like Behold Thine Emperor's Might more. I think that sounds a lot more consistent. Because for those that kind of aren't aware, Behold Thine Emperor's Divine Might's really simple. On the final corner or later, pass 3 people, and then you get a boost on the final straight. I'm pretty sure that's what the conditions are. Yeah, currently on the final corner beyond. Overtake 3 girls, and oh, you're on the corner. Oh no, wait. Currently corner equals 0. You're not on the corner. Yeah, you're on a straight. Sorry. The example being the exact opposite of what the ability was confusing for a bit. In an ideal world, I'd be aiming 600 guts, but I don't think it's worth running stamina or guts cards to make 600 guts happen. So I think I'm giving up the secret stat bonus, and I'm going to go like... What I think I'll actually end up at is probably something like 500 guts and 800 stam, unless I get like really lucky on those runs. Because just hitting both feels like it makes my wit and power too much worse to get 2.5 speed. Because that's 2.5 speed's probably somewhere around 25 to 30 speed. So if I can get like 100 extra power for that, or 100 extra wit, that feels way better than 25 speed and like 50 stamina or something. 3 speed, Haru, wit, and Rico. That's actually not a bad deck. I should consider that, running that. That sounds... I don't know if I'm sold on it being the best, but it's definitely something I should try testing. Because Haru's kind of just like the weak roamer, so it kind of works. And then I can borrow MLB Findmost, then it's kind of okay running 1 wit card. I think this doesn't solve the low power, or like the mid power that I'm looking at, which I would prefer to fix as well. But I should definitely try testing this. That's not a bad idea. Oh yeah, let's see what you have. I don't know how we're gonna see. I guess you can just write your stat mix or something, but I don't know. I don't know what's a good way to see what you've made. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we could do that. I'll send a link to the server. Oh, partner ID. That's actually a great idea. I think. I guess if you set it as your Boro, that works well. Trainer ID does not exist. Okay, yeah, I can finish the run first. Yeah, this run has been taking a while, and I think I'm... It kind of feels bad to finish it too, because the stats have not been good so far. Like, I did bring speed sparks so that I could try getting that little boost into the 1150 range without having to switch up the deck. But so far it hasn't felt very great. I've hit a lot of single rainbows. My speed cards don't seem to want to group enough. We got a Unity Cup at least. Okay, we got a fast learner. I think we missed on all of our inheritance, so I don't think it matters. But that's the first time hit. Oh, we hit long S. Did we hit spurt? We hit Umas. Oh no, we have Umas. We did also hit spurt. I guess this would be a really good run if our stats didn't feel as bad as they do. I guess everything gets decided in this summer. If we can hit 2 triple rainbows before the end of the run, this could actually be pretty good. Okay, double rainbow and a spirit bubble. That's kind of getting us within shooting range. Okay, we have to waste a second one, which feels pretty bad. A second double rainbow, but... Oh, we get the free 20 energy. Yeah, if I can get to 1150 speed, I should be able to band-aid stamina with the gold recovery. So this should be usable no matter what, I think. With long S, straightaway spurt, and a golden recovery. Yeah, I think it might actually be good enough that I might leave Goldship for a little bit and go to theory crafting my Seiun Sky build. Okay, that's a pretty bad turn 1 of summer. It's not even like a good power or stamina turn. Huh. Could do a random stall on wit. Yeah, I think it's not worth running the energy. I think it's just a random stall on wit. Okay, double rainbow. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Seiun. I'll show you my my ordering of Umas. I like Seiun Sky the most, and then I like Silent Suzuka, so you can tell that I'm a front runner player. And then I like Nice Nature, so then you know that I debuff things. And then I just like Haru. Oh, actually, Haru's a debuffer. I run her in 2 CMs as a debuffer as well. They actually fit my playstyle so much. What day of... Okay, we're on last day of summer. We might just take the power. Yeah, I feel like that feels okay. It's not great. Third. I mean, it's unlucky. The only thing I think is reliable is getting to Group A or Group B finals. Winning it, when it's all on one race, feels so incredibly high RNG. I like Grass Wonder as an Uma that wins me things, but I don't know if I like her that much as a character, unfortunately. But I am a big fan of her stat growth. I will run her in a lot of races, and the fact that she has A in mile and long is pretty crazy. That's not a bad power turn, actually. Pretty much as good as I can hope for. I believe waiting doesn't do anything. I'm pretty sure the matches are set immediately, and then it's just whenever you want to view them. So it won't help your luck, but if you want to put off the reveal, it works. Okay, you're a lot below your stat lines for the cards that you think you should be able to. If it's a wit-based deck, like you have 2 or more wit, I think a big part will be not hitting or hitting single rainbows in other categories instead of wit, because that's where you want to put your stall turns if you're running wit cards. The wit friendship recovery is what makes them really strong. And you want to stall out for the double and triple rainbows on other categories. If you're not running wit-based deck, it's probably your energy management is a little weak, and you're just taking riskier trainings than you should. Or I guess what is your kind of average fail rate? Because a failed training is extremely costly. I would probably say you should only average about a half failed training. If you average any more than that, you're not managing your energy correctly, and you're ending up baited into taking really good trainings that, if you had managed your energy better, would have just been safe to take instead of risky. Those are kind of my 2 main guesses on what it could be, but I'd really have to kind of like watch a run or see how it plays out, something like that. Or at least the deck. Okay. Yeah, so if you're running a whip-based deck, you want to just stall out turns until you hit the big stats. So that's like a single rainbow with like 2 or 3 non-rainbow support cards, or just multiple rainbows. And the super high rolls and multiple rainbows. My speed cards are going on vacation. Oh, I did not use Rico dates. I haven't been paying enough attention to this run. Uh, for 2 speed, 3 wit, is that on a plus speed character? Because even if that's Rico and Biko, or sorry, Kita and Biko, I think on a 0 speed growth character that can still be pretty hard to reach, like 1150 speed consistently. And you'll kind of bait yourself into taking a lot of single rainbow speeds. Yeah, kind of what Daosham's saying of 3 speed, 2 wit, and then if you go over, and then you can adjust that way. It's easier to adjust down than it is to adjust up. Because you need to hit your stamina, and then you need to hit your speed, and then you get the luxury power and wit, and a 3 wit deck is just going to be maximizing your wit. So but if it cuts down on your speed, it's kind of just a waste. Yeah, Kitasen and Biko would be pretty hard on Seiun. I think you would need to run a 3rd speed card. Okay, we finished with a double rainbow speed. So our speed actually gets to 1150. So I think as an experiment, this deck doesn't look too bad. I forgot to buy abilities because I was looking at the stats. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, and now we get fast learner spending. So that's pretty good. I don't know how many extra races we took. Okay, 15, so we have 3 extra races of SP on a fast learner run. That's pretty good. We'll see what we can afford. Hopefully we got hints. I wasn't paying attention to that either. I have to take Let's Pump. I don't have to take Behold Thine Emperor's Divine Might yet. 830 stamina, 520 guts. So I'll probably take a non-standard distance. Corner depth maxed, so I'll take that. I'll take a Nimble Navigator to not get blocked. I'll take a straightaway spurt. Take long straightaways and long corners. Those are really good. Didn't get any end closer. I don't know how much I like Umastan, because I feel like you end up at the front of the end closer, then you sometimes end up too far forward to either alt or too far forward to actually pump. It feels like a very weird balanced skill. I'll take some of the luxury stuff. Because I only have Let's Pump and not the other one, and I have a lot of skill points, I'll probably take a No Stopping Me. I'll probably take an It's On. And then we should run it through the Umulator just to kind of see if we do need that extra recovery. Because the 30% off, we'll remove It's On just in case that we can't afford that. So we'll do Uman Browser. Copy link. So what I'm using for the Goldship is I'm doing some testing runs just to kind of decide on what kind of main sparks I want to put on my parent target parent. And so this is also the first time I'm running along with an MLB Kita, so I'm just seeing if I can run 3 speed cards instead of 4. And it was looking a little rough without speed sparks, so I started adding some speed sparks and seeing how close that gets. And then I landed on this really kind of lucky run where I get long S and fast learner and straightaway spurt from inheritances. So it's kind of looking like a really strong starting point of I probably won't work on Goldship for a little bit and just get kind of preliminary versions of all my aces. Yeah, it does feel like I end up distracting myself with what's happening in chat and asking in chat. Oh, I did free. Okay, yeah. Okay, so back to this one. We're gonna test our Goldship stat line. It was 1153, 830, 789, 521, and 653. Other than the power being like a little lower than I would have liked, this actually feels like a pretty good stat line. We'll have long S, Behold Thine Emperors, Let's Pump. Non-standard. Oh, I didn't buy Behold yet. Okay. Corner Adept. Oh, we didn't get offered Curvature. That's kind of weird. No stopping me. Spurt. Long straightaways and long corners. Pressure. Boomistan and speed. And remove inside scoop and remove end closer savvy. Alright, 70% spurt is, okay, it went up to 80, but that's not good enough. We really need that to be 90 to 95, so we're going to pick up a corner recovery, see where that lands us. Okay, we get to 92. It's not bad. If we pick up corner recovery, then we pick up It's On and firm conditions. That sounds pretty reasonable. We don't get Behold Thine Emperor's Divine Might, which is kind of sad. What if we remove that and add Behold? It's sunny. We could get some more guts. That's kind of survivability. Then we have 116. Pick up long corners too. Could also consider. Do we have any discounts on it? No, after scrolls. No, the Go Home Specialist isn't discounted at all. It just has one discount on the white. I don't know if Behold the Emperor's Divine Might's worth that, so I think we'll just go back to this. Okay, I think that ended up different. I forget what I dropped. Okay, I picked up Firm Conditions 2 and Sunny Days 1 instead of Corner Recovery. Oh, that would have been really bad. Okay, Corner Recovery. Firm Conditions, It's On. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that ended up way better. We hit the 13.5 rating. That felt a lot better using Speed Sparks. Yeah, 3 speed, 2 power is one of the ones we were considering. If we go to just the browser, these are kind of the decks we're thinking about. We have the one we just ran with 3 speed. It ended up having to stack Stam Sparks for Speed Sparks, which didn't feel right to do, because I feel like Speed Sparks are the weakest, but it did let us hit 1150. Then the next deck we were considering was the double power, triple speed that you're thinking of. And then another idea that was posed was instead of the double power, run 1 guts to hit the 600 guts threshold for the bonus, and then borrowing a fine mo, because then I can run that as a solo wit card. Yeah, I guess now we find out how I did in finals. Oof. So I guess for the people that aren't familiar with what I was running, I'll show that first. So I had a few different ideas that I've tried out over rounds 1 and 2. The ones that have been constant have been a Maruzensky and a Silent Suzuka, run Runaway and Front. Then I'll show them in a second. And then the other idea was using a Seiun Sky to crowd out Taikis from alting. But there weren't actually that many Taikis, so I ended up running this Grass Wonder instead that has a chance to win from just gambling with on your left, Let's Pump and Redshift. And then it also has Medium S. So if it hits 6th, it'll pump. Then it'll hopefully move into 5th fast enough to still catch the Redshift on the corner. And then maybe on your left can proc early to get it into that position, or just to super boost it. And then it's just generally good otherwise. And the deck for that was a 2 speed, 3 power. Just because Grass Wonder has insane growths. Then the blocker Seiun Sky, if I could make this with long S, it would be kind of insane. You have Duty of Dignity Calls, you have Taking the Lead, Focus, Escape Artist. Groundwork is a wit check, which is a bit concerning with Focus, Taking the Lead, and Frontrunner Savvy. But that's not the worst thing when you have 660 wit. It has Tail Held High. It has an insane mid game with up tempo, straightaways and corners, Leader's Pride, Tail Held High. I wasted a few skill points buying Restart and Sympathy. I didn't look at the conditions of Restart, and I thought I could use that to help my Suzuka be unchallenged by other Suzukas if I got lucky on the proc. But in the conditions, if you look it up, you actually can't proc in the first 5 seconds. So that was quite a waste, and that should just be front runner corners 2. And maybe with the sympathy points, that could also be medium corners 2. But, oh well. It's kind of a monster Saiyan, and it still kind of sucks. Like, I think Saiyan was really bad this CM. Then my Silent Suzuka was a Runaway. It had guaranteed groundwork with Runaway, left-handed full fall runner. It had DDC to accelerate into the final area. Had Angling and Scheming, Unrestrained to get that kind of win condition. Then 1200 speed. Had some decent mid-game and corner depth and medium corners, Leader's Pride. Focus instead of concentration, just for affordability. And then if it hit medium S, I would have been really happy with it. Yeah, Suzuka killed so many front runners. Now the front runners are just like the Pacers, run front. It's actually really sad. But it's also nice not just getting dominated by Smarus of what was foretold. And then my Maruzensky is... it has both the win condition of passing the Suzuka with Angling and Scheming, or sitting behind and shooting for victory, or the ultimate high roll of shooting for victory, then passing 2 dying Suzukas to still proc Angling and Scheming on the corner. Its groundwork is sort of a wit check with Focus and Taking the Lead, and sort of not a wit check in there's so many front runners, target and sight is pretty likely to apply. Then we have front runner corners 2, medium straightaways, up tempo, front runner straightaways. And then this is my semi-survivable, having Moxie. But my lineup is... My three are kind of edged on stamina. So I'd kind of hope not to run into... If I run into a double Nice Nature, I'll be very concerned. Single Nice Nature, I think I can handle, but it'll be... My Suzuka will be edged a little bit. 790, no recoveries. It's just so hard to get enough skill points on that character. Yeah, Suzuka... The only counter to Suzuka being Suzuka is actually the worst. That's where I kind of cooked with the runaway. I was like, oh, sorry, the restart. I was like, oh, this is a counter to Suzuka, because then you can stop them from getting such a big lead. And then when I looked at the conditions, because a friend told me, why'd you buy that? And I looked at the conditions, and it was like, oh, this is absolute garbage. It doesn't do anything. They're already finished accelerating by the time this has a chance to proc. I thought it was going to be like an RNG counter, but nope, it just doesn't do anything. Oh, double Nice Nature lobby. Okay, I guess I have Great Mood guaranteed for the finals, so maybe it's okay. I am the 1-2-3 favorite, which feels pretty good, but it is a double Nice Nature lobby, which is exactly what I want to avoid. It's a double Suzuka lobby, so my Suzuka may die, or will probably die if this is built remotely correctly, and then it's kind of up to my Maruzensky. So it might just be a Maruzensky off, which his is the 7th favorite, mine's the 2nd favorite, so I think I have that. We can look through the Twinkle issue. So Suzuka either dies or basically wins in 157 or dies in 2. That guy's Maruzensky. Oh, those are some really good Maruzensky times. I'm surprised none of them are wins. 157s. Yeah, these times are kind of weird to look at just because how Suzuka paces up lobbies, but it'll give you kind of an idea. Yeah, I'll eat all the Nice Natures and Suzukas. Anything for the viewers. Yeah, the Maruzensky has always been very solid. Regularly finishes 157, 156s, even. I think we'll just go send it, see what happens. Alright, it passed by so quickly. I'm pretty sure I got both groundworks. Yeah, that Suzuka I don't think is built correctly. So my Suzuka is essentially unchallenged. But she also is running against double Nice Natures, so I think she dies to their existence. This might leave my Maru in like a perfect position to steal shooting for victory into angling and scheming. Oh, the Suzuka's catching up. Okay. Alright, my Suzuka is 100% dead. My Grass Wonder's climbing into 7th. That's good. I think it is a Maruzensky off, though. That's kind of what it looks like it's going to be. Goldship's anchoring's away. My Grass Wonder's sitting behind a Nice Nature. That's not good. Oh, sitting behind both Nice Natures, actually. It's a Goldship behind them. That's not supposed to happen. Okay, we get the red shift, and we... Okay, we miss... Okay, we hit our shooting for victory, and we hit a good unrestrained. My Suzuka doesn't seem dead, so I think we win. I think. That's true, actually. She knows her positioning. Don't get debuffed by the Nice Natures. Sit behind them. Wait for your opportunity. All right, I guess great mood. Just made her invulnerable. Because, I don't know. I feel like there's no right that Suzuka should have won that lobby. Alright. Nice. Yeah, I feel like 790 stamina should not, even under Great Mood, that doesn't... Maybe we'll take a look at the Nice Natures. Are they... Okay, there's 0 front debuffs on this, and only a Murmur. Okay. What about this one? Okay. Alright, so that's why she lived. These Nice Natures actually didn't debuff her at all. Yeah, so that's the thing about Suzuka's, is Suzuka's can't be built casually. So he didn't have taking the lead. He actually had a working groundwork. But groundwork early lead was like just barely not enough early game for Suzuka to catch up to my Suzuka and challenge her. It kind of looked like she had a chance to challenge her after a little bit there. But based on the results, I'm going to say she didn't make it in time to spot struggle. And that's what made my Suzuka not die, and then my Suzuka simply got to win. Yeah, because Suzuka is not easy to build. Like, you definitely need a lot of specific things, and that's why I couldn't get to the medium S despite running, I don't know, almost 20 Suzuka runs. I couldn't hit everything and medium S. Because to be able to be a blocker and kill other Suzukas, you need working groundwork, and you need taking the lead, and enough stamina to survive. Then to win, you need 1200 speed. I guess you could settle for 1150 speed, but then you need angling and scheming, and you need unrestrained. And then to like truly win, that's just to have a chance at winning. Then to truly win, you need like the 1200 speed, some speed abilities. So left-handed is built in, so you'll always have that. And then getting some like mid-game and stuff with Fall Runner and Corner Adept and medium corners and Leader's Pride. And then having medium S. And I couldn't hit everything, so I settled on a Suzuka that didn't have medium S. Alright, that's good though. It had been a little bit there since I won. I think my last two have been both second places or a second third. And one of those... Okay, I guess it could be Cope, but one of them was like to a whale that was running like 4 MLB SSRs. And then the other one, I just got completely RNG'd. My like 400 wit Goldship and Libra refused to click straightaway spurt, and it also failed to no stopping me. And then I lost, and then my debuffers did all they could to remove stamina off end closers. But what ended up winning was a perfectly proc no stopping me Goldship that had 1000 speed and 1200 stamina. It was like built to counter my lineup, and it was like, I don't know why I got this guy in my lineup. Yeah, we can equip the new title. Yeah, I was leaving on Cancer because I hadn't won in so long. I didn't win Virgo, I didn't win Libra. Oh yeah, I didn't even win Leo either. Leo, I came third. That's been a really long time, actually. Oh no, actually, okay. Leo, Virgo, Libra. Yeah, it's been 3. Came second, third, second. But now we're back to winning. The Kita-san effect. These were starting to get kind of painful running without Kita-san, because I think a lot more of the casual players started kind of dropping the game, and so I was just running against a lot of MLB Kita-sans, and it was starting to become a challenge. Plus, just felt like some unlucky matchmaking, but that's always Cope. Okay. So we can do some theory crafting on our other two builds, because I think our Goldship build is not too bad anymore. It came pretty close to the stat line, and is actually usable as is right now. So I think these are the 3 Goldship builds that we'll consider. Now we're gonna look at our Seiun Sky build, because I think that's gonna be the most different. Because Grass Wonder is basically just gonna be copying one of these, whichever one I settle on, and then minus a speed card or a wit card. So we'll run our Kita-san and our King Halo for sure. Then we need Taking the Lead. We'll put in our last anchor of our Rico. He is plus 20 stamina instead of having any speed bonus, so we'll probably want to throw in another speed card. And given our experience with Goldship, I think I'm just going to make that a Biko Pegasus and just call it a day. Oh, 1 LV Rico. I think I wouldn't run 1 LBR Rico. The best part about I might just run no Rico at all, depending on what the deck kind of looks like. Because what Rico really provides you is stamina, guts, and the most important thing, stability. You can counteract basically every mood down and have free energy, so you don't risk sleep deprived and Night Owl as a result. So with a 1 LB Rico, I think in a lot of decks I would just consider removing her, because I think if I'm going to borrow, I might just try to high roll with, like, at least for this cup, like a Super Creek, and in other cups I might just try to high roll with Fine Motion. But I would have to try out what a 1LB R Rico looks like, because I never had to deal with that. I just had my R Rico MLB'd pretty early from the free pulls. We can look at what... Do I have a way of finding Night Owl? So Night Owl just drains your... It has a random chance to drain your energy. And so it's probably the worst debuff, because energy is the most useful resource in the game when you're doing a run. Maybe the reference doc will have Night Owl somewhere in here. Night Owl. Oh yeah, the first month is really hard, especially if you weren't prepared for it with like re-rolling on a banner. This late is really hard. It was hard just not re-rolling, and I started 2 weeks into the game, so there weren't people with a lot of resources. Like now, you're gonna run into a lot of people that have MLB Kita. Yeah, and you're also not going to have MLB SRs. You're probably still going to have a chance if you just max your speed and stamina. Because like a truly free-to-play account that started now for a month, your best hope is to just hit speed requirements, stamina requirements for the race length, and the necessary accelerations. Yeah, that's pretty much the same thing I did, because I really liked this game because I saw I've never played a gacha game before. This is my first and only gacha game, and I saw a VTuber playing it, and it was actually looked like the career mode was actually just a roguelike auto battler. You like make complex decisions about how to train your Uma, and you end up with certain stat distributions and skills, and then they fight each other on the racetrack to win, including debuffs. So I was like, oh, that gameplay sounds really good to me. And I didn't know what rerolling was. And by the time I did, I felt too committed to my account. And it also felt like a good challenge. And I had already won a platinum, like because I'm good at roguelike games and auto battlers. And it just felt like the right challenge to just keep going without it. And then, as you can see, the last couple CMs have been really hard without Kita. So I had been saving for Akita to be truly competitive, because when I lost, it just felt like I was just losing because I just didn't have enough stuff. Yeah, but now it's pretty hard. You'll have a good chance when Mant rolls around in a month or two. I don't remember the exact date. We can look it up. But Mant kind of evens out a lot for free-to-plays. Because race bonus becomes the single most valuable stat. And race bonus is very accessible. Where is NTR? Okay, it starts in March, so 2 months away. Yeah, I started like I think 2 weeks before the Kita banner, which is almost somehow worse because I didn't really know what I was doing. So I may have spent a lot of carrots rolling without pity for where is she? For my now most hated Uma, BUI Hide. 10% guts, 20% wit. Because I liked her in theory. This sounds really cool, like, you know, pass them, make equations, and then run faster than everyone. But she's so bad. And I used so many carrots to get her. And then I wasted lots of pity build up as well. Like, I didn't even go to pity, so... Yeah, late searchers I think are definitely the most accessible because they're the most gambly. And you can just win by hitting the excels at the right time and beating the stam and speed requirements. The only thing they're going to lack is consistency, but you don't get consistency on free-to-play decks. It's just not possible. That's something afforded by luckier or higher spend accounts. If you're running from a free-to-play, you just got to get your speed and stamina there, and then pray. You either want to roll the matchmaking that it's a lot more people that are casual with the CM approach, or that are in kind of a similar position as you, and you can just be a little bit better than them. Because there are still quite a lot of free-to-plays. Like that race didn't have a lot of... the stats weren't very high, so I didn't look at their decks, but I assumed their decks weren't very powerful. I would say probably an MLB Kita at most. So back to this on the Night Owl. Night Owl has a 25% chance to do a -10 energy event, and then when that event occurs, you also have a 23% chance to get a minus mood. So that's like a 7% chance for a mood down -10 energy, and a 25% and an additional like 18% chance of just a energy -10 energy. So it's pretty taxing, and you really want to avoid it. $200 on Kita-san? You got 4 Kita-sans, 3 El Condors? That's crazy. I felt pretty lucky with my, I think I rolled 2 Kita-sans, and that let me use a use an SSR selector ticket to get her to MLB. Roll it, and then I got 0 El Condors out of that, I think. Maybe 1 El Condor, I can't remember. 4 and 3 is crazy though. Yeah. It's not as bad as it used to be for Night Owl, because in one of the patches, so you haven't played this long, but Summer used to not remove debuffs, so you had to go to the infirmary, you had to take the % chance that it would cure it, and sometimes runs were just absolutely torpedoed by you'd get Night Owl, and then you would run into the infirmary like 2 times without fixing it, and all the time it's sapping your energy, and oh, it felt so bad when it RNG'd you like that. Yeah, 3 LB Condor and Kita-san's pretty good for now. Especially if you've been playing regularly, I think we're pretty close to getting an SSR Crystal, and that'll get you the MLB Kita. There's a couple things that heal things. Shrine Visit on a Recreation heals it, but it's kind of bad because you can't guarantee Shrine, and you can't... and you'd need to be mood down for it to be even remotely worth it. And then it's Summer. I can't think if there's another event. Oh, the extra training. And I don't know if it worked before. But that has a chance to heal, and I'm not sure what its chance is. Oh, that is... Okay, so you probably haven't run across this then before. That's going to be part of her event chain. Is it shown in here? Yeah, so when you participate in the Sumair Stakes, you will get under the weather. And then when you win the Kukuka show, you heal under the weather. So that's not actually a random heal. That's part of specifically Creek's events. And kind of only to her. I feel like it is a little crazy to consider Condor over Kita. But, I mean, both are good. Condor is, if we look at the tier list, Condor is a top tier SSR power card. So it's not the worst decision. You're kind of fighting between like the best choice, I think, and a very good choice. So either is perfectly fine. But yeah, I would definitely go Kita personally. You're looking at like so the tier list numbers aren't very good. I wouldn't really use them too closely, but technically you're looking at like 200 difference there, and then here you're looking at a 100 difference on kind of almost the same scale. Because the numbers heavily depend on what you have in your deck, so it's not really like great to look at in a vacuum. Oh yeah, training off slow metabolism is possible, but it's not likely. Every successful training is a 10% chance. So if I have I'll look at trainings after I get slow metabolism, and if I have a good stam training or a good power training, I'll try it. But otherwise, I'll go to the Reformery, because there's almost nothing in the game that feels worse than having slow metabolism and seeing multiple rainbows on speed. So even just the mental idea there, I'm like, I need to cure this as soon as possible. I don't want to see that. That'll tilt me so much. Yeah, I had a friend in my club that thought it was a lot higher because he cured it very quickly all the time. But in my experience, it's 10%. This feels accurate to me. So this was our Seiun Sky idea deck. It's a 3-speed, 2-wit, and MLBR Rico. And I guess we'll try that out. Oh, we might need to pick up... Do we need a specific parent? We should plan out the build on Uma later. Because I actually don't know if there are good inherited alties for a Seiun Sky. Maybe there's going to be like a DDC or something. Something that gives us a little boost to try to get first. Oh, right, the, okay. We can take a look at the Uma. Can you send the friend ID again, please? Daushim, if you have the ID, we'll take a look at your Uma, your proof of concept Uma. Oh, scrolling up to chat. I think when I used that, it didn't work. Like, I think maybe there is a typo in it. I can try it again. All right, 412-076-514. Yeah, it said that trainer ID doesn't exist, so I feel like there might be a typo, because I also copied and pasted it the last time as well. Oh, congrats JTR on the gold. It's a very solid start as a free-to-play. And depending on your deck, it could just be, like, extremely good. Well, we'll wait for Daushim on that. We'll kickstart the Uma later testing of the Seiun Sky. We have Seiun Sky as a front runner in normal mood. AAA. We'll click our skill chart. Okay, yeah, we'll need taking the lead. We'll need like firm. So this is kind of like, because I know my deck and cards, firm is pretty likely because I can get it from King Halo, which I will be running. Then I'll want, like, I'll put in right-handed for now, but it's just some other green. And then I think I can get focus pretty likely. And then that'll make groundwork value. And then we'll rerun the skill chart. Okay. What do we have? I mean, we will run Escape Artist because it's built into her kit. Professor of Curvature. Is there anything important to run? Doesn't look like there's like a DDC or something. It looks very generic. It's like Sky High Teo Steps and stuff. And just from knowing the conditions from playing a lot, I know that none of these are good for a front runner. So I guess there's no good inherited ulti that we'll need, so we can just run the best long and total sparks that we want to run. You can see that I'm a Seiun Sky enjoyer with a 5-star Seiun Sky. I spent so many statues for this. I think I spent like 500 statues on Seiun Sky. We're going to look for heavy groundwork parents with high affinity, and hopefully turf or long. I don't know if we need speed yet, so I think we're going to prioritize stamina for now, unless we see something else that we want. So we have this. Oops, forgot to switch it. I'll see if I can share a link to a Discord, and then if that works, maybe you could send it there. Okay, we'll try this double setup. All right, 905. Okay, this worked. So where are we looking? Oh, it has. Yeah, I think it hasn't updated yet. Then, because your star Uma is. Oh, I guess it's proof of concept on a Maino. Okay, never mind. Okay, I think I get it. Okay, so you run the Sweep, King Halo, and Kita, and then you have Haru Guts, and then you have Fuku and an MLB Rico. 1150 speed, 720. Oh, it's supposed to be a Goldship? It hasn't updated your star Uma yet then, because it has your star Uma as a Maino. We can check in after starting up the Seiun Sky run. Oh, that wasn't your account then. Okay, this is proving confusing and difficult. I think we were pretty good for this special week that I had. So I've been working on like white spark looping. So I kind of want to use these crazy white sparks that I have. So it'll sacrifice a bit of the blue, but you can see that it kind of has a crazy amount of stuff. It'll have Focus, Leader's Pride, Groundwork, bunch of races, some conditions, Groundwork here, long corners. It's a 3-star Guts, because why not? There's 2-star We're Guts maxing on this, actually. Leader's Pride, Focus, Moxie, Groundwork, Unity Cup. Then the other one we're going to run... Let's see, this is another 5-star Guts. Oh, okay, so we were looking at the right thing. Okay, well, we'll go back to it in a second. I think... Let's see, Turf, Medium, Medium. Maybe we'll run this one. Okay, so I think those are the parents that we'll select. We didn't spend too much time on it because it's more of a test run. But when you're going for your final copy, you might want to, or you will want to look up and also spend a Boro for a final ace. But during testing, I wouldn't spend Boros on it unless I had to. And I kind of have to spend Boros to get speed and power sparks, because my speed and power sparks are not very good. Okay, so when I was looking at this, I think you're not maximizing the power and wit enough. I need to see how the career played out, but the 1150 speed is good. The stamina is good. The guts is good. But I want to say you might be able to do better than 700 power, 500 wit. I think. I'll go look at mine for reference, as well as... Okay, so what did I have? Yeah, I was hitting almost 800 and 700, along with... So it's kind of like 100 power and 100 wit for 100 guts. Which I don't know if that's worth it. Because running the solo wit card and the solo Haru card are both kind of painful in deck building, because you don't really like either of their solo rainbows. But Fuku's kind of a bit of an exception, because a good chunk of her stats come from being scenario linked. So I think it's a little weak with the Fuku Boro. I think that deck works better if... I think you... Okay, you've Rico 3 LB. Yeah, so I think that deck works better if you use your own Rico and then borrow a Finemo. Because Finemo on her own is strong enough and a good roamer. Yeah, it's a good starter Mayano, I think. I think it's just not maximized. So, like, I wouldn't want to keep running it, because I think I could hit higher stat targets, and I'd want to have a higher stat target when I roll that good run of getting long S and other things. When I'm looking at stat targets, I don't typically look at the skills, because a lot of them come from inheritances or bubble pops. Cards themselves, unless they're gold skills, are kind of just up to the game's RNG, whereas stats are usually a lot more consistent. You're probably not going to vary your stats a lot, but you can vary your skills a lot. For getting more friend slots. In the shop, the friend point exchange has follow slot boosts. So you can get up to a maximum of 60. So for inheritances, there's a couple things. The first thing is the races that they run in common. And the second thing is like a natural affinity that's just in the game. So if you bring up an affinity calculator and I look up like Goldship, she just has these natural affinities to these Umas. So if I run her with a Maino, that's pretty good. And then the one that has Maino now cares about affinity to both Maino and Goldship, so that's going to change the list a little bit. So you can see that, what's something that moved a lot? You can see that Super Creek actually went up a lot. And so that's the one part of affinity. Then the other part of affinity is the similar races. So in a parent run, you want to run a lot, every G1 of your aptitudes. It used to be a lot harder in URA, but now now you get a lot of hints and random stats, so winning all the G1s is a lot easier. I used to have to pick and choose my G1s based on where my stats were, but now you can kind of run a lot of them. I'll just catch up on chat a little bit. Yeah, building up parents is a really important part of the game. It's just unfortunate. A lot of it's down to RNG. So that's the affinity part. White sparks are... There is something you can do. So for groundwork, for example, for every parent or grandparent that has groundwork as a skill, I get a small boost to my percentage chance of it being a spark on the trainee that I'm running. So there's like a little bit you can do, and that's why white spark looping is really powerful. So that's how I end up with these really high white spark parents, because almost none of this is Zaboro. Only this Mahono Bourbon Zaboro. All these other things are just stuff that I have in my account because I've been working on frontrunner parents with my non-Boros for a couple months. What was our last thing? Oh, it was a Biko. That's what we were going to use. Okay, I didn't have it on the right screen, but yeah, so these are the white sparks. Like a lot of white sparks. Yeah, it's really only when you start getting a lot more competitive that you have to care about parent farming. It's also good for your club because parent runs have more fans from taking those extra G1s, but it's definitely not required to play the game or to beat any casual players. It'll just let you compete up if you're a dolphin trying to beat whales, or if you're a lucky free-to-play trying to beat dolphins, or you're a regular free-to-play trying to beat a lucky free-to-play. It's really not a requirement to farm parents. It's just something nice to... It'll give you a boost, for sure. What's more important is your training composition, and especially your actual career run execution. Those are where you're going to see the biggest differences between somebody more casual and someone more semi-competitive. And then if you're like a hyper-competitive, then you need to add in those little edges of parent farming. I mean, the borrow helps a lot. It's just going to give you a lower peak. I would think of it a lot like if you're going to borrow a Smart Falcon for groundwork, you're lowering your ceiling, but because you're guaranteeing groundwork, you get a lot more consistency in your runs. And that's kind of what making your own parents does. Having another good parent on one side gives you a lot more consistency in your runs of what stats you're hitting, as well as what skill hints you get. So if I go to my gold ships, I think I didn't even farm end closer parents that much, but I think I have straightaway spurt on 3 of those 4 runs, and that's all from inheritance RNG. If I only used a borrow parent, it would probably be at about 2 would have straightaway spurt. So it just kind of lets me get that extra run where it's possible. Yeah, and anything that makes you feel burnout in game, I think is not worth doing. Because at the end of the day, you are playing for the enjoyment of the game. I personally feel like the payoff of... Like, I also find parent runs pretty boring and draining, but I feel like the payoff of that higher win chance is worth it to me, but for a lot of other people it won't be. A good blue and pink sparks will come eventually, but getting higher affinities and higher... You're never going to find the great parents. Alright, good night, Moon. Yeah. I also have to go in 25 minutes, so I'll just kind of give that heads up if there are kind of like last minute questions, because it is like a hard stop I have to go. I also probably won't stream again until the next CM, because I think I want more time to kind of work spending on the guide videos. So I think I'm only going to be streaming like 1 day of round 1, 1 day of round 2, and then finals day. And I think that's going to be my schedule until I get quite a few more guides out. Yeah, parents from failed ace runs are good. They're just not going to be great, because you're going to have less skill points from not running as many races, as well as less race affinity from not running as many races. But the blue and pink spark chance is all RNG, so you'll have equal chance, and maybe even better chance for blue, just because you have the stats of an ace run. So you'll still definitely get good parents from failed ace runs. It's just not going to be that kind of tippity top if you care enough. Yeah. The nice thing about parent farming with white sparks is I feel like there's also some, I guess joy is the right word? Satisfaction. I get a lot of satisfaction from like slowly improving my account uh, with the improvement of legacies. Because legacies are just kind of forever. Cards will get power crept out, but the legacies always slowly build up to being stronger and stronger. So when I first started doing my white loop farming, I had like 3 sparks, 5 sparks, something like that. But after infusing it with a couple Boros and then running for a couple months, now I regularly get 6 to 8, and it's kind of unusable at 6 to 8. Like to replace my current iteration of the loop, it needs like 10 white sparks with one of them being groundwork, and that's kind of, it feels like a lot of satisfaction to have that long-term improvement. But I get it if it's not enough to make a lot of people want to do parent runs, because it can definitely be draining, and it's a drain on your time. If you don't have fun doing it or enough payoff at the end from doing it, it isn't worth it. Yeah, Mant will be really good for parent making. That's also true. Oh, the 10%. Oh, unfortunate. And the mood down, but we can fix the mood down at least. And you know, we started Rico dating early, so that's some good RNG for the run. Alright, we're almost rainbowed on all our supports, so that's really good. And then we can just start high rolling. It is for a test run. Realistically, I really shouldn't run that, but I also just want to complete the mission. I'll complete on a later test run. The only way I would run no initial friendship cards is in a deck that's basically built around it. So I would want to bring like a Mayano Top Gun and a Narita Brian, and I'd want to bring a Sweep Tosho. It worked better in URA, where you had more of your support character events, but you can still kind of hit, because the 0 to low initial friendship characters, when they are like high in the tier list, that means that when you hit friendship, they're super value. So basically, if you build around all of them being low friendship, your high rolls can be so insanely high. They're just really high variance, which if you're willing to put the runs in and just keep rolling for high roll RNG, it's good. But if you want consistent runs that you're getting good stats every time and then you're just looking for that medium S, that's where it's not going to be good. I also wouldn't run one that has none. It's basically just using Sweep Tosho. There's not too much built around it, but you're basically building around hopefully getting lucky on Sweep's random event. because they start with 0 initial friendship, you have a lot longer of a period to get charming and then supercharge the run. Something that starts at like 40 friendship, you only have probably junior year or less to get charming and still have it be value. But if all your stuff has 0 starting friendship, your bond building period extends into like the middle of junior year, which usually hurts because it means you're going into summer without bonds fully built. But it also means that if you hit charming in the beginning of junior year, that's already kind of a high roll run because you're going to hit the friendship bonus a lot earlier than you should on cards that are balanced around not hitting friendship bonus. Because if you look at like, this is what I was running. This is my second best speed card, is the 1LB Biko Pegasus, and that has 0 starting friendship. And so on its own, it feels kind of painful because all my other cards will be friendship bonused by like the end of junior year. But Biko will just sit there sometimes, and it might take till the end of junior year because I'm not in a bond building kind of mode for my overall deck. I already have a bunch of friendship bonuses ready to go, and I want to hit those rainbows. So if all the cards are in the bond building phase, it works a lot better, because then you have different priorities on your turns. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of runs and a lot of time, gambling time. I wouldn't suggest it to anyone, but I think that is the only way you can make them work. I think we'll go for a Rico rest here, just that we're missing, guaranteed to miss a little bit of energy going into that New Year event. Oh, we need some fans. We actually need to take this Hopeful Stakes. Yeah, the benefit of early Rico dating is that big event. Almost 20 stamina, 10 guts is really nice. Oh, that's such a good training. I don't think we're going to see the results of this Seiun Sky run before I have to leave, which is unfortunate. I think it's looking good, and that also might be because my Seiun starts at 5 stars, so our initial stats are crazy high. But I think it's feeling pretty decent. But the sad thing about front runners is your run is pretty much always hit or miss based on your inheritances. If you don't get groundwork, it's kind of dead in the water. No matter what you're running as a front runner, if it doesn't have groundwork and taking the lead, it's almost guaranteed to be worse than a low roll with the same deck that has those things. Like, you could be missing like 200 total stats, and it might still be better just to run the groundwork and taking the lead. Uma. It takes so much mid game and like speed buff to be able to overcome a lack of that. Yeah, Frontrunners is definitely for the masochists for a while. It's a lot of RNG and runs, but what it does give you is the absolute peak inconsistency. Okay, we got a lot of good stuff there. We got our groundwork hit, which I think means we're already good. We got the Turf S, which doesn't mean as much, but it's there. Yeah, I used to, before Kitasan Black, I used to always be late surger and closer, just because it felt like the only way I could win was to gamble on them. And if you throw enough back there, I feel like you can stack the deck to get the Mejiro Ryan proc. And then if you have the Mejiro Ryan proc, you have a good chance at winning. Yeah, I think I'm with you on the Pace Chasers opinion. I'm not big on them either. And when Christmas Ogre becomes more accessible next CM, because I think I saw, okay, my club's pretty tryhard, but there were, I think there's like 5 or 6 people that are running Christmas Ogres for the finals. They just made their Christmas Ogre yesterday. And I'm not looking forward to next CM when that's just what a lot of people will have, because I think it's terrifying. I'm already scared of regular Ogres. At least Pace Chaser, I think next CM is a weak position. I think what's going to make it strong is just the Umas in it, like Christmas Ogre. I think it'll feel a lot like this CM, where Taiki feels really strong, but Pace is actually weak. I'm going to be greedy and take power, but based on the results of this test run, that might prove to be the bad priority. Yeah, I think depending on what the lobbies look like, I think a late Christmas Ogre might be better than a Pace Christmas Ogre. And better cards would help for sure as well. I think a lot will come down to whether you see runaway Suzukas, because the Pace Chasers will try to stay with that front pack, and they'll be stretched forward by runaways. But if not a lot of people run runaways, because runaway will actually have like 0 chance of actually winning the race, then you don't have to worry about that. And you can just run a late Ogre, and it's not even going to stretch the front pack too much away from them. I'd wait to see what the meta looks like. Actually, Dober is definitely enough, actually. The more I think about it, yeah, Dober, you only need Dober. You don't need to also have Mejiro Ryan. Yeah, everyone will have an ogre. Or we'll have a, sorry, a gold ship. I don't know why I said ogre. Yeah, gold ship cups. I think you'll see a few fronts that aren't whales, because I think a lot of people find front. I feel like there's like a big gap where people really like front or they really like end. They like to either watch their Uma zoom past everyone and then just barely squeak out the win, or they want to just be screaming at their frontrunner Uma of like hold the lead and finish. And I feel like there's almost like no in between where people are like huge pace chaser fans of like, I want my Uma to slowly and methodically wait there behind the front runners and then win. So I think there still will be a few fronts that aren't whales. Oh, we got Night Owl. And then the -10 energy immediately. That's actually also the worst part about Night Owl, is that it can proc on the turn you get it. So there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Yeah, non-runaway Suzuka is so incredibly weak. I can see Late Surger having the same appeal as End Closer. They kind of pass everyone. If that's why you like it. Okay, I'm gonna need reasoning on that, because I don't see the appeal of pace at all. Because there are a few cups where... Oh, I forgot to cure my... I think 33 is not quite worth it.
Seiun Sky. 実力は完全に上位ですね。貫禄すら感じてしまいます。逃げを打ってこの子のペースに持ち込めれば強いですよ。
I guess I can see pace and late being similar, but I feel like late just has more excitement with passing everyone. And then on top of that, I feel like the accessibility of on your left versus, I don't even know what the gold version of head on is, but whatever it is, it's not accessible. And so it feels like you gamble so much harder on late surger, which I think is a big plus to the game, is gambling. Oh yeah, if you get a lucky pace, that would actually be pretty strong. I think that was the only way that it was viable a few CMs ago, like CM4 or 5 or something, was when you had the lucky pacer, or it was just all gold ships. And then Suzuka came out and ruined everything. I guess I can see the reliable positioning argument. I can understand that at least, even if I don't necessarily agree with it. I can see the reasoning there of it feels reliable. Because I guess on first, you're kind of gambling that you are. On front, you're gambling that you are first, and if you're not first, you just lose. Unless you built to be like a pacer that's actually a front. I think that pacers as a category aren't very good. I think they get carried by their Umas. Like Ogre, Christmas Ogre, and Taiki Shuttle. Like, I think those Umas are just so insane that Pacer's good, but like the actual Pacer itself isn't that good. Like any other thing run pace feels bad. Whereas anything run end or late feels decent, and then you get to slap on either on your left or let's pump, and now you can also slap on moving past and beyond sometimes, and it's just, there's so many options. Pace, it's like you kind of need an OP pace Uma for it to feel good, I think. Nope, training effectiveness is always on. I haven't been paying too much attention to my run, so I might have misclicked something if or missed something. If you noticed a bad turn, you might be right. But training effectiveness is always up, and that's what makes roaming supports really good. You don't need to friendship them because you don't care about their rainbows, and then they just always boost everything. Okay, it is now 7 o'clock, so I will have to go. I will be back next CM, or you can always ask any questions on my YouTube channel or anything like that. Okay, thank you for. Let's see. I don't know. I feel like we need to see more. I think pace can get good. We'll see. Yeah, I could definitely be wrong, but that's how I feel about pace. Is that it's carried by its strong Umas. Or maybe the position is weak because they have such broken Umas that if they made the position good, those Umas would just feel so incredibly suffocating. Yeah. Alright.